I'm here in a 2009 VW Jetta, and I'm going to show you guys what to do if you ever come across one where the ignition key is no longer turning. It's a common problem. I sell the ignition. It's usually the housing, but I sell them both. Okay, so the biggest problem is the steering wheel is going to be locked. Okay, and to take the shroud out, there's two bolts, torque bolts, T25s. Anyways, to remove those, we got to get the wheel to turn. So the top part of the shroud actually comes off. And you take that off, and there are your sheared off bolts that we need to undo to drop it. These also have a little clip right there on both sides, so once you put the new ignition in, it all clips back. And this is the one that's really difficult, guys, because it has this motherboard. Okay, this motherboard is held on by a clip that's here and one in the back. I made a tool that I can actually maneuver it and undo it section by section. Before, I used to do it where I would loosen up the wheel, take the bottom shroud off. There's a little Torx, tiny little Torx right there you got to remove. Okay, that gets it started. And then I would undo this. And after I undid that, I would undo the board. Okay, the problem is, it's these fingers up here in the front. They like to bend and break off. Okay, once I get that off, okay, I've done so many of these that it's just, you know, I'm able to remove this and I'll build it back and I'll let it hang there. And then I move on and do my ignition. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but there's these little tabs right in there. So once you put the ignition back in, the little tabs will hold it where you don't need to have a second hand or third hand to hold it while you're trying to screw these sheared off bolts back in. Anyways, this is a common problem with Volkswagens. Okay, they in 2006, and I've gone as high as 2019. Okay, there's the key tumbler, and what usually happens is the ignition will turn slightly, but not releasing the steering lock. Okay, these jobs run about $500 is the going rate. The pieces, if you replace the ignition, key tumbler, and the housing, I usually sell the whole thing for about $100. Okay, reason is, once you get that ignition out and you're trying to get the key to turn so you could poke it and pull it, or you could drill a little hole in the actual ignition housing and try to depress that retainer that's holding that ignition in, sometimes you end up ruining the ignition. Okay, so I sell ignitions that already have the little hole, so you can take the antenna off and key it up to the customer's key and drop it back in there. All right, once again, this is Ray with the IQ team. Hope you guys liked it.